Law of the bedroom, number 90. Develop the art of telling stories of sensual and erotic adventures. Now, I'm going to break this law of the bedroom, number 90, into 3 parts. The first part is, of course, developing the art of telling stories of sensual and erotic adventures. How do you get to become a great storyteller? And how do you start or go on an adventure? And then other benefits to going on adventures with your honey. Part 2 will be what makes a great adventure, and how do you tell one that will have her oozing sensual female love out of every opening. And then part 3, how do you initiate an adventure? And then other great tips for telling erotic, sensual adventures every time with your honey. Guys, this is the juice. This is good stuff. And again, this is the stuff you do before making love. Let's say like she's on the phone with you and you're just talking, you're going to be seeing each other tomorrow night, and she's saying, I'm feeling like horny for you. I want you. I can't wait to spend time with you. And then what you do is you don't say, okay, well, great. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. What is that? No. You're going to say to her, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go on a little adventure right now? And I'll take you somewhere. Anyhow, let me get into this because you're going to dig it. I've been telling these kinds of stories on the phone for so long, I can't even remember when I started. It was so long ago. And guys, this is good stuff. Remember in an earlier Law of the Bedroom, I mentioned something about increasing your sex drive? You know, when you have these stories of sensual and erotic adventures on your mind, you're increasing your sex drive because it's on your mind. There's another Law of the Bedroom that says, you're not thinking about it enough. And I don't mean to say you're becoming addicted or abusing it. No. Because as you can tell from Laws of the Bedroom, all of this sex talk is enveloped or wrapped around romance and love. So when you are thinking of your gal and you're going on these erotic adventures of sensual, dreamlike fantasy episodes in your minds because you're storytelling, guys, this lays the foundation in her mind. One of the most powerful sexual organs of her body is her brain. Turning it on. She's going to be oozing those female sensual fluids out of every opening before she even sees you. But only by, let's get into this. This is hot stuff. And just listening to this audio program, I hope you're getting ideas on, Bart, I'm starting to see what you're talking about. I mean, just listening to this audio program, your voice, the way you talk, I can imagine what a sensual, erotic adventure is going to turn into. Let's check this out. This is good stuff. And it's 3 parts because there was just so much material. I wanted to keep each part to the time limit that it came out to. So let's check it out. Now, why should you learn how to tell stories of sensual and erotic adventures to your gal almost every chance you get? But there are so many reasons that benefit you and her in ways you may have never experienced. Allow me to share. All right, guys, I know you know this, but let's go over it. Women love romance. Women love fantasy. Women love stories. Women love sensual mystery, creative imagination, emotional and mental stimulation, and tales of creative erotic adventure the two of you can go on inside your minds, whether you're right there in person, lying next to each other in the dark, or on the phone when one of you is away for some time, and only the sound of your voice can comfort her lonely nights without you being by her side. Guys, why do you think the romance genre or romance erotica book genre is so popular with women? In fact, that's one of the reasons why I wrote a romance erotica book called Fantasy Boyfriend. You can go to fantasyboyfriend.com to check it out. But yeah, I mean, they love that stuff. And what's more, when I wrote Fantasy Boyfriend, the romance erotica novel, it's just one big story of sensual and erotic adventures. And within it, the character, the male character, the main character, he takes the gal on these sensual and erotic adventures, and it blows her mind away. And when he's telling these stories, she's getting wet. She's getting horny. And he just says, well, I'll tell you what, I don't think I can finish the story. I think I need to take care of you. And she goes, yeah, I need it now. Guys, this is the stuff. What do you get when you become a great storyteller? Now, there are so many benefits to your learning this loving language of art and tongue. For starters, storytelling is a great way to find out what your honey likes, what she hasn't tried before, and what she's not comfortable doing yet when it comes to making love with you. Valuable information, that is. Wow, what if you could find out what she likes or doesn't like to do before the two of you ever have your first physical encounter? Or imagine discovering new things that she likes that you never knew before, which you can do to her, for her, the next time you both meet up under the sheets. Imagine how much better you can please her when you know what she likes, what she doesn't like, what she's done before, what she hasn't done before, and what she's not comfortable doing. Wow. Talk about tapping in on all of her hot buttons and just the way she likes them to be touched before you ever touch her. This is valuable information. How do you start or go on an adventure? Well, in your stories, you can subtly ask, where would you like to go? Would you like me to start? Do you have an idea of where you'd like to go on this adventure? What are you wearing right now? Now, you know she's feeling good when you're talking to her like this, because she's either absolutely quiet on the phone or in person, listening to every word you're saying, or she's breathing a little heavier, perhaps into the phone, so you can hear it pretty well. And the ultimate sign of them all, she's touching herself. And for some, it is very possible for your gal to experience an orgasm, or two, or three, right there in front of you, or, like I said, on the telephone. Don't be surprised if this happens. You want this to happen. You want her to enjoy listening to your words. You want her to enjoy listening to your words, and you want her to enjoy her touching herself as well. Oh, by the way, I bet you didn't know how many women can fantasize their way to orgasm. Well, why don't we help them? First, by telling sensuous tales of erotic adventure, just for two. You see, normally, she has to do this on her own. But you're there now, and here's your chance to help her along with your voice and carefully chosen words of love and seduction. Lead, tease, and please her with tales of adventure and storytelling erotica every chance you two get. Now, other benefits to going on adventures with your honey. Another benefit to storytelling is how wonderful it warms up your honey's body for making love to you. See how easy that is. Imagine driving her into a state of frenzy that she just can't stand not being without you, by your side, skin on skin, in the flesh, another minute. Now, if you're close and lying next to one another, storytelling serves as wonderful foreplay. If you're on the telephone and far away, storytelling helps to serve her need for you by her side until you come home to be with her again. Another benefit to storytelling is that storytelling brings the two of you closer together and on a new and different level of intimacy without you ever having to get physical or leave the home, traveling for that matter. You don't have to spend any money to see the world when you go there in your mind. When you're done with your little adventure, simply come home, end of story, and go to sleep together in each other's arms, or dream away of seeing each other again. Which leads me to something very cool. What else can you do with these adventures that you go on? You can live them out. You see, every time you tell a story or go on an adventure, you're creating a mental video library in both of your minds. Check this out. After a while, you'll have a lot of ideas on how to live out those fantasies of yours in real life. Honey, remember the adventure we went on where we made love in the parking garage on top of the hood of that Mercedes-Benz? Well, look what's parked over there beside our car. As you're returning out of the club at 4 a.m. in the morning, what do you say? You feel like living out one of those adventures? Storytelling, among other acts of love, also demonstrates to her that you are a patient man. Storytelling takes time, thought, and careful planning on the fly when you're telling a new story from scratch. You see, you're describing different scenes, gestures, and intricate physical maneuvers about how you'd like to whisk her away to some private bungalow for the two of you on some paradise island with shady palm trees, secluded beaches, clear blue skies, crystal clear lagoons, warm winds, 2 tall, tipsy margaritas within arm's reach, all while making love in the open air on a soft double chase lounge in the shade made just for two. Yep, I think you're getting the picture now. Just let your imagination run wild on that one. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. If you don't have a gal in your life, maybe you got one that you're after, or like you got the hots or a crush on someone, some gal that you want to go up and talk to and eventually meet and eventually maybe, take her out on a date and all that kind of stuff. What you do is you start practicing in your mind, telling these stories to yourself, but you're actually pretending like you're talking to her on the phone. You could just create something just out of the blue. You'll be talking to yourself for about 10, 15, 20 minutes maybe. I'll tell you something, it is therapeutic, big time. So, what if you have been dating for some time or you're married? Absolutely. What a great way to spice up your sex life by taking wild and crazy adventures in your minds anywhere you want to go, anywhere in the world. Storytelling is exciting, it's erotic, it's fun, it's adventuresome, insightful, and delightful to her ears and yours when you hear her say, "I really liked that. I came. Take me on another one." Your imagination knows no limitation, my friend. Besides, telling fun, erotic little adventures is a lot of fun without the physical work that goes along with getting physical. I mean, you can lie there and do all kinds of things for hours on end, just talking to her, or go places or do things that, would require real time, money, energy, exertion. None of that stuff is present when you're telling great, erotic, and sensual stories of adventure. Well, hey, that concludes part 1 of this part 3 situation here on telling great, sensual, and erotic adventures to your gal. Let's get into part 2 right now, which is what makes a great adventure and how do you tell one that will have her oozing sensual female love out of every opening. Come on, let's check it out.